Hey there, this is a review for our Dragonbane Shadow over Gloomshire adventure we're playing for our Thursday night group. This was session number 3. Had all 3, I got 3 players for this game. They all were back at the table. Picking up right where we left off. They spent the night in the Slippery Fox Inn and got up the next morning. They met with Maeve, a fellow knight of a paladin of the Blue Rose, much like yeah, just drew a blank here. Much like, oh, there we go. Much like Erd. I keep screwing up Erd's first name in my head. Must be getting old. But anyway, they decide to get right at it. The first order of business after breakfast is they go and visit Minerva of the Chapel of Light. Minerva is the one that sent them a letter asking them to come to Gloomshire and help rid the town of whatever evils have befallen it. They meet with her. At first, they meet with one of her primary acolytes is this young man named Chadwick, and he's very suspicious of Scarf. He's had run-ins with the other 2 wolfkin that are in town, Bjorn and geez, I'm drawing a blank on names today. Bjorn and Ungolf, I think is his name, or something like that. Anyway, he's had run-ins with them. So he's pretty stern in his demeanor anyway. Like he thinks all the heretics should be burned at the stake, and if it wasn't for Minerva, he would probably be a little bit heavy-handed with that stuff. But also in this town, that the religion of the Chapel of Light and its congregation, they are not well received by the town actually itself. So. For unknown reasons at this point. They learned from Minerva that there was a betrayer in the old order, paladin order of the Blue Rose, that started its own order, used the crow as its symbol, and summoned this demon named Morrigan to Gloomshire. And ultimately, one of the paladins, this woman named Fiona, who Maeve is actually a descendant of, defeated Morrigan in battle and its followers. She was also slain in battle, and all of them were buried beneath the temple, the order's temple, which is located in the cemetery. Minerva tells the group that there's catacombs under the temple, and that she's buried there along with Morrigan and the Morrigan's minions. They decide then that they want to go and talk to Brenda. Now, Brenda's a woman that they saw in the Slippery Fox Inn that was very upset. Her husband Jurgen is missing. He's been missing for several days, and they're concerned that he might have also been turned into a thrall. So they go. She's a little suspicious of them because they're strangers, but they're able to talk their way into her residence, and she ends up allowing them to search it. And they don't find one of those symbols like they found in Marin, the cook's room at the Slippery Fox Inn. That there's a necromancy symbol. They don't find anything like that. So that gives them a little hope that maybe Jurgen is still alive. He's not a thrall. So before they leave, Scarif, who's a wolfkin, they have like this scent ability, and as written, it's for enemies in combat. We played a little loose with it. I think it worked. He smells some clothing or a pillow or something that Jurgen had used, so he has Jurgen's scent. It doesn't allow him to track Jurgen, but like if he smells it again, he'll recognize it. So we did that, and that's a heroic ability based on the wolfkin kin that they can do. Kins are races in Dragonbane. They just use the word kin instead of race. From there, they leave Gloomshire. They head through the north gate. The gate guards tell them that they've heard that it was maybe a rough night for the carnival that was in the west gate, outside the west gate. They might have lost a couple people, but they don't know any of the particulars. But they open up the gate. They're also telling, they tell the party to be careful of all the ghosts and stuff in the forest. But the party heads north. It's about a 45-minute walk north through the woods to get to the cemetery. They're about the midway point when they hear some noises up ahead. And when they go into up this road, I should back up a little bit. There's a couple things that make this travel distinctive. It's colder here than anywhere else that they've been in and around Gloomshire. There's a low mist that hangs on the road, and the road is lined with like tombstones, and overhanging branches, a lot of them have nooses hanging from them. So it's not a warm and cheery place. So as they travel, they hear noises up ahead, and then they catch up, move ahead, and they see that the Mallard demon hunter, Victor Dracos, is fighting several, I think it was two, basically undead wolves. And in the adventure, they're called Stygian wolves. So he's fighting them. So the party comes in to help him. Pretty good fight. Stygian wolves in the thing count as monsters, so I don't have to roll for attacks. They just roll to see what attack they do. There were some interesting ones. I think Scarf got blinded again. I think that might have happened, but it might have not been that fight. I could be mistaken. But one of them did have this ability that it used, which was really weird. But it started digging like a shallow grave, and in the same attack, it pushes the person into it. I want to say, man, I can't remember who that happened to. He tried it on somebody, and it tried it on one of the characters, and it failed. They evaded the attack. And then one of the other Stygian wolf did it to a different character, and he just pushed him into the same hole and just started. And that was Erd, I believe, because he was just scratching away and trying to bite him and stuff. A challenging encounter, but they, with the help of Victor and the three of them, they overcame it. Victor had been out. He tells them that he's been out all night fighting and hunting and demons and undead, and he's killed a bunch of things. But he's actually headed back to town, and he tells them that be careful at the cemetery because it's teeming with undead. He didn't go into the cemetery. He got close to it, but he didn't go in. But he just warns them. So they heed his warning, and he returns to town, and they continue on. They reach the cemetery. They find that the front gate's been torn down. Relatively new. It's not old damage. And they can hear there's a lot of activity inside the cemetery. It's surrounded by a rusted wrought iron fence. And it's got like this layer of mist and fog is over it, making it kind of hard to see. But they can see and hear forms in the thing, so they know there's like a lot of activity. So they can't really be super stealthy because you got Erd, who's wearing plate mail. He's not going to be stealthy. He actually gets a bane on any sneaking rolls that he makes. Scarf doesn't wear any armor that I'm aware of, but probably not that great at sneaking. Tildren, the demon hunter, the elf demon hunter, is stealthy. He actually sneaks around a little bit, but they're on this path, and they enter the cemetery. They're on this path, and it's fairly wide. But up ahead, they see like a dozen thralls like milling about in the mist, and they wisely decide at the time to avoid that fight. So in Dragonbane, combat is dangerous. It moves very quickly. But it is dangerous because you don't have a ton of hit points. You're constant. If you look at let me dig this out here. Actually, this is my son's character sheet. children. But if you look at the character sheet, your con score equals your hit points, just like your willpower equals your willpower point score. So children has like 17 hit points. And some of these things, if you look, weapon damages and stuff, if I can hold this up right, like a D10 plus 4, D8 plus 6. And, some of these monsters really hit hard. So if you can avoid combat, and thralls do count as monsters, so like I don't have to roll to hit, they just attack and hit. He has a heroic ability that allows him to spend willpower points to avoid those attacks, but and thankfully, like for Erd, he's got a lot of armor. He's got a really good armor rating, so he can ride out a lot of damage because he can't evade that well. Actually gets a bane on that because of his heavy armor. But combat, if you can avoid it, is probably wise. I mean, you got to fight some things, but just to get into combat, to get into it, is probably not the wisest course of action in Dragonbane. Unless you're like playing into your weakness, which is a trait in the game. Pick up the sheet. Which, like children, is reckless. So if he plays into that, which he does, Bryson does a good job doing that. If he plays into that, though, like at the end when you're asking the questions for your experience points to boost your skills, if you answer, did you play into your weakness? He can say yes. He gets a roll to try to improve his skill. So, it's a balancing act, but you got to be careful. So they choose to go around this combat, and there's other paths. They take a side path, and then it kind of forks, and they go to the right, and it kind of leads them to believe that they're head back into the center of the cemetery where they were trying to go, but, went around the gang of thralls. They come up, they travel a very short distance, they come up to another intersection in the path, and standing in this intersection with is this heavily armored figure with red glowing eyes and holding a great sword, and it's a death knight. So I rolled the adventure has random tables for encounters to include encounters in the cemetery, and I rolled on that and came up with Death Knight. So they end up fighting this. They do a pretty good job. It again is a monster, so no rolls to hit. It just attacks and has a variety of things it can do. Some of them are pretty bad. During the course of combat, it actually summoned a couple other undead thralls. It could have actually at one point. There was one that would have allowed it to summon like a bunch of undead, but every time that came up twice, and it was always like the single. So it was I just had a thrall come out, but it added complications to the combat because it gave him other stuff to focus on. Maeve took a lot of damage in that battle. It had one attack where it would do a lot of like 3d10 worth of damage. That's a lot of damage. If you got 17 hit points and there's a chance of you getting hit for 30 points of damage, that's a lot. So it was a tough fight, but they eventually brought him down. And I gave them, I think I had them make a roll, some sort of roll, spot hidden or something like that. And they each got to pick a random treasure card to see what they got for loot. One of the things that they did note was that the armor and the sword that the Death Knight carried was magical. It was like this desecrated weapons, which are listed in this book, the Gloomshire Adventure. They didn't want anything to do with those. Probably smart. They got the random treasure. Somebody picked some coin, which was good, and the other stuff was kind of like mundane. I kind of felt bad for him because it wasn't really that helpful at all. It was like kind of like mundane random item or something. But there's a big variety of things in the treasure book. You can get magic grimoires and stuff from it, and all sorts of things. But they just had bad luck. From there, we kind of ended the session there. We leveled up, rolled to improve skills. They improved some of their skills. I don't remember what got improved. Some met with some success, others met with less. But real good session. Fun. We'll hopefully play again this coming Thursday. It's Saturday now, so yeah, real good session. I really like this adventure a lot. It's really, you can get it on drive-through if you're looking to run something for Dragonbane. It's really well done. So I usually never run pre-written stuff. And I bought this, and it is really well done. I have to do very, very little prep to run it. As far as, pretty much it's just reading, like, and knowing what the story is, overall arc or adventure is, because every location has an event tied to it. And with Dragonbane, it's pretty simple. Like, you know, get the monsters, and new monsters are in this. It uses both monsters in this, and then monsters that are in like the best area or the core book there. And it super easy to run. Kind of spoiled me a little bit. I wish more stuff was this well written. I went through and highlighted some key points and stuff, but it's got the maps and everything. But like the big thing is, like, if I know, like here, like they go to the Slippery Fox Inn, and the event is the cook turning into a thrall and has locked himself in the room. We did that, and I didn't have to like come up with anything. I come up with the cook's name and, you know, the little particulars that come up as you're playing it. But that's the fun part, you know, just to make it your own. But really good adventure, super cheap. I think I paid like $15 for it on drive-through. So if you're a Dragonbane fan and looking for a great adventure to run, this is it. And you could actually expand on this quite a bit. Our aim with our Thursday night sessions is to run adventures from 4 to 6 sessions. We may go over that with this, but I'm trying to keep it to that. This was session 3, so I might be able, I'm hoping I can do it within those sessions. I got to kind of maybe pick up the pace a little bit. But they're in the cemetery now, so they're on their way to like trying to figure this out and win the day. So really great adventure. Again, check it out if you're looking for a Dragonbane adventure. But that was it. Again, really liking Dragonbane. I've played it a lot. I haven't run it. I've been a player in a lot of Dragonbane. I've only run maybe now, this is like 5 sessions of Dragonbane. But it's a really simple, easy system to run, I think. And I liked it because one of the things I liked about it is, unlike more traditional games, and I think I might have mentioned this in the last video, more traditional games, like, we would have been playing for years of real time to get them characters that were capable of facing off with a Death Knight. So being able to do that, the 3rd session into an adventure, is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Great system. If you haven't looked at Dragonbane, I highly recommend it. And if you're going to get if you're going to get Dragonbane, I would recommend, I'm kind of a completist, but get the box set. Because a lot of people mistake the box set for a starter box, and it is absolutely not a starter box. It is a complete game. As a matter of fact, this rule book comes with it. And the only difference between this rule book and the hardcover rule book that's available is the hardcover book has like an adventure location in it. The box set actually has a complete campaign in it, 100% complete, long campaign, and it has, you know, if you use miniatures, it has the standees, which has, I'm not a standee person, but the Dragonbane ones are pretty much the only ones I've ever liked, because the art on them is awesome. Dragonbane has awesome art, and it's right from the books. It's great stuff. The only thing you would possibly need to add to that box set is the Game Master screen, which is super handy just to have because it's got different charts and stuff on it. I'm old school. I like a Game Master screen, apparently, because we have, you know, one over there. And matter of fact, that Game Master screen there has like 3 screens behind. It's like 3 screens. There's a castle. There's that one, the wooden one, the decorative one that's my son's, and the one directly behind is my Castle Crusades one, and behind that, facing right now, is the Dragonbane one. So yeah, we use Game Master screens. They're super helpful. So I don't have to look stuff up. I can, you know, the charts are right there if you need them. Good stuff. Yeah, so like I said, next Thursday be another session, and we'll see where they get to then. I appreciate you all watching. If you got any questions or and comments, love the comments, fire them away, and catch you at the next one. Thanks for watching.